Example 5 says express h of x as a composition of two functions. So now we're going to do the opposite. Instead of taking one function and plugging it into the other one, we're going to actually undo them. All right, so our steps to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find g of x. And how to do that is you're going to find what is inside with x. Okay, now there's more than one answer here. So I'm just going to show you what's usually the easiest way. So what is inside with x? Do you see where x is? What else is in there? The x squared plus 5. So let's let g of x equal x squared plus 5. So there's one of them. And then step 2 is we're going to find f of x. And we do that by we're going to replace g of x, which in this case was the x squared plus 5, with an x. Alright, so f of x will equal, we still have our square root, but notice what's underneath there was the g of x. So I'm just going to put an x in its place. And so that gives us our f of x. And so we decomposed those functions. We found what two functions, if we put them together, would give us a composition. And if you want to check it, you don't have to, I'm just showing you this, but if you want to check it, then do it. Do f composed of g of x. So we got f, and we know that g of x we said was x squared plus 5. So f is my skeleton, so it's the square root of the x value, and what are we plugging in? X squared plus 5, and that is exactly what we started with, so we know we got them correct. So let's try another one, because they only gave us one to practice, and we haven't done this before. So I'm just making these up. So you might want to write these below that one, or on the side of your paper, or somewhere, okay? So what if I tell you that h of x is equal to 2 times 4x plus 7 raised to the third minus 9. I don't know, I just made it up. Alright, so remember, step 1 is find g of x. G of x is what's inside with x. Well, do you see where x is? What's inside right there? 4x plus 7. So there's your g of x. And then f of x says replace whatever we just had. So now we're going to replace 4x plus 7 with an x. So we have 2. Now that's my 4x plus 7. So I'm going to put x, and I had a cubed, minus 9. And so there's my two functions that would give me this composition. And we can check it by plugging in. So if we do f composed of g of x, that's f of, we said g of x was 4x plus 7. And so we know our f function is 2x cubed minus 9. So I made my skeleton, and then I'm going to plug in my g of x there. And did I get the same thing we started with? I did, therefore I know that we did it correctly. Alright, let's try another one. Okay, so what if I take and say h of x is equal to the cube root of x squared minus 9? Well, remember, find g of x. That's what's inside with x. So I see that x squared minus 9. And then f of x says replace, this time it's going to be the x squared minus 9 with x. So you have your cube root of x. And so that would give us that one. What about if h of x is equal to the absolute value of 2x minus 5? Well, again, find g of x. That's what's inside with x. And it doesn't matter if it's inside parentheses, inside the radical, inside absolute value bars. It could be inside the exponent. It could be on the bottom of the fraction. Wherever, as long as that's where x is, that's what you're going to use. So this is what's on the inside with x. And then to find f of x, I see the absolute value bar, 2x minus 5 is going to be replaced with an x, and then I have the other absolute value bar. All right, how about one more? I should have left that line. That's okay. So what if I say that h of x is 1 over 2x minus 3? Well, first thing is find g of x. G of x is what is inside with the x. Well, this time, all of that is inside the denominator with x. So 2x minus 3. And then f of x, we're going to replace that 2x minus 3 with x. And so there's my two functions for that one. Now, like I said, each of these, they have more than one answer. But this is usually the easiest. Find what x is. Whatever's inside with it is your g of x. And then we'll just replace it with x, and that gives us the f of x. All right, good luck.